Hello, hello, and welcome to the stream. And I'm probably talking to myself in here because all of my friends are busy, and I know it. But I'm starting because oh hey Cables, hi, hi, look, they're here. Cables just got off work. Zeus is here, which is awesome. How's my microphone? Let me know if it's too quiet. I don't know. So, oh, it says battery. Okay, hold on. Are we back? I managed to find some. It's not the ones. It's not our stockpile of batteries, but it's not blinking at me yet, so that's a good sign. Yay! Alright, it's still not blinking, so that's good. So, anyway, you guys, so I wanted to apologize for the fact that I kind of, like, fell off the planet. I had a lot of stuff going on at work, and streaming for me is, like, a new thing, obviously, and I was having trouble finding a good, like, work-life balance in order to be able to stream. So, I've managed to figure some stuff out, and what I was trying to do with the stream before was to use it as a means to provide the two of us with food, and that's why there was a lot of meal prep stuff happening, and it just wasn't working out. It was too much work, basically. So I decided that for the majority of meals that MVP and I are going to make or eat, it's going to be really simple stuff. It's not going to involve a lot of prep. It's not going to involve a lot of work. And that will give me free time to make more extravagant dishes while I'm streaming. So part of the reason why I wanted to do this was so that I could do fun stuff like cook out of cookbooks. And this is what we're doing for July. So this is the book that I'm going to be cooking out of for the rest of the month. I've made a few different things out of it so far. Some of them are extremely spicy, but this one is going to be a little bit more on the mild side. I know, Mexican food. So I got this cookbook as a gift for Christmas, I think, and I've only made a couple things out of it because, like I said, it's spicy. And he uses a lot of mushrooms, and you know MVP doesn't eat mushrooms. So, like, oyster mushrooms have a really meaty texture, so he uses them in place of chicken in a lot of things. So if I end up having to make any of those, I'm going to have to swap them out to use like fake chicken or something because MVP will not eat the mushrooms. But yeah, so I'm really excited to cook out of this here. I updated the schedule with all of the recipes from here that I'm going to be making. And I actually made some commands. What do you mean, but? I know you guys love mushrooms. I'm going to try to work some into the stream just for myself, but it won't be this time. It'll be next time, like August or something. I don't know. What was I saying? Chat is so distracting sometimes. Oh, hey, Asian Gaming. Thanks for coming in. Have you ever seen one of my streams before? I can't remember if you've made it into one of them yet. I was just telling everybody that today is going to be exciting because I'm cooking out of this cookbook here. And I was just getting to telling you guys that I made some commands in the chat. I listed them on the main page, but if you do !book, it will bring up a link to the listing for this on Amazon. So if you end up seeing this recipe in its completion and you think it looks really tasty, oh, that's fun. It separated it into two things. Anyway, yeah. And it's not an affiliate link because I'm not an affiliate. I don't make any money off of that. So, yeah. So I also have !calendar, which will take you to the Google Calendar that will list the streaming schedule. And then I have !kombucha, which will go to the kombucha page that's on my website. I have to make some other ones too because I have a mailing list. So like I need to make !mail or something like that so people will get a link to sign up for the mailing list. Or, you know, !YouTube to go to all the videos and whatever. But anyway. So I guess I'm gonna get started. And the microphone is still working, so that's a good sign. So what I'm making today is basically an open-faced sandwich. I've wanted to make them for a really long time, but I've just never done it before. I saw a recipe for one on a show on PBS called Patty's Mexican Table, and I just never did anything about it. But they looked really delicious, and there was a recipe for one in here, so I decided that it would be a good place to start. So, the very first step is to make garbanzo-chorizo. And I've made this before out of this cookbook, and it's really, really delicious. So, I'll just read the little intro to you guys. He says, Mexican chorizo is an intensely spiced sausage that's typically made with pork, vinegar, and a variety of herbs, spices, and chiles. Earlier this year, I did a cooking demo for a popular morning television show in Mexico, where I featured a prototype of my now famous garbanzo-rizo recipe. The segment was recorded at a co-working space in the hip Roma neighborhood of Mexico City, and the aroma had flocks of workers crowding the set as soon as we all wrapped up. Then they devoured it. So it has a bunch of spices in it, and it's really easy to make. It really comes together within a couple minutes. Cables says she loves open-faced tuna melts. Nom nom nom. Yeah. Agent, maybe you should go take a nap instead of watching the stream. Sounds like you're tired. Okay, so basically I'm going to warm some oil in this pan, and then I'm going to saute an onion. He says half of a cup of a yellow onion, and this recipe does make some leftovers, so I think I'm going to just do what he suggests here. So how is everybody's days going so far? I had a pretty great day. The only problem is that my distributor, where I buy my produce from at work, doesn't have any bananas. And we're gonna run out. So when I left, they were trying to find another place to get bananas from. But I'm not sure. It's gonna be a very sad day. People go bananas when there aren't no bananas. Oh, hi, Red Dawn. Thanks for coming by. Sleep is for the weak, no sleep. If you say so. I love sleep. I mean, I don't get enough of it either, but I still need some. That was one of the things that was preventing me from doing the stream before. Getting enough sleep. Doing that whole self-care thing. But I think I figured it out. Rusty has a doctor's appointment on Wednesday, you guys. I'll keep you guys updated. Speaking of which, I said the R word, so we came running. Could you dice the onions more finely if you wanted to? Yes, you could. I like big chunky vegetables, actually. It bothers MVP. Okay, I need a little container for these. I don't have any in my drain board. I'm actually really good at dicing things pretty small, but I don't know, just not feeling it today. But she's a chunky vegan, that's ironic, yes. Chunky in a different way. Okay, I will probably be using those again later. We'll see. Oh yeah, Red Dawn. MVP was the same way. When we first got together, she didn't even cook with onions because she didn't like the texture. It's not really a flavor thing for her. Peppers was the same way. She wouldn't eat peppers, onions, different types of other vegetables, but she really wanted to learn how to cook so she could feed the two of us because, believe it or not, when we first got together, I didn't know how to cook either. The only thing I could really do was steam vegetables. And she started making lasagna and omelets. Cables loves it grilled, but as long as it's mixed in something, I'll eat it regardless of size. Mushrooms, stuffed mushrooms. Clem can't cook, yes, that was a true thing. Okay. I need 4 cloves of garlic. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. So, have you guys ever had mollete before? That's the name of these sandwiches that I'm making. And I don't know why I'm yelling. I have a microphone right next to my face. Even though the computer's farther away, I don't need to make myself louder in order for you guys to hear me. Like I said, I've never had it either, but I've seen it on cooking shows before. Always wanted to make it, and I just never have. Never heard of it, but I probably know it by another name. Yeah, like I said, I saw it on Patty's Mexican Table on PBS, and it looked really delicious. And it seems pretty sensible. It's just basically beans on some bread, gets toasted, and there's melty cheese and some other toppings on it. And then you eat it. Doesn't it sound delicious? You guys, I actually got some shiitake mushrooms and some shallots, and I was just going to saute them all together and then use that as a sandwich filling, but I haven't gotten around to doing that yet. I did something similar to that last winter. I got some regular portobello mushrooms, and I sauteed them with fennel and some fresh thyme. It was really, 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 really good. Yeah, you can't go wrong with mushrooms and onions or some other bulb vegetable. It's really tasty. And just a little bit of herbs. Most people, when they make mushrooms, they just douse them in balsamic. And there's so much more to life when it comes to mushrooms than vinegar. Oh, yeah. He's hot. I don't know why he won't go sit in front of the air conditioner. Now that there's chopping. Oh, do you need some more water? Do you need water? I'm not giving you anything. Just giving you water. How's that? You don't want it? Okay. You know, he actually was just eating a rawhide bone. So I'm not sure he needs anything else right now. I mean, he'll tell you differently. But as his mom... I'm not sure. No, it's Chicago cutlery. Red Dawn. I've actually had it for many years. It works great, and I just sharpen it periodically, or MVP does. I always forget, but and we are definitely browning the onion real good. So, I need sun-dried tomatoes. Two and a half tablespoons. Oh, Santoku is the shape of the blade. It's the knife I use because it's so versatile. I'm not sure. Does it look like it to you? It came in a set. But yeah, I use it for everything. It's really the only knife that I use. Except I do have Portuguese knives from Portugal that are amazing at doing things you would normally use a serrated knife for. Yes, MVP is the knife sharpener. Steampunk says, on the topic of mushrooms, I bought some Morel mushrooms last week. So very good if you haven't tried them. I actually haven't. And yes, by the way, hello. I haven't had Morel mushrooms before. This is the Portuguese knife. MVP prefers these. But when you're doing something like this, the sun-dried tomatoes don't work so great. So I think what I'm going to do is just do all of these tomatoes and move on, because we're definitely having a cooking occurring in this pan. We're just going to put that away for a sec. Yeah, I'm not. This doesn't really knock, so I don't think this is like a chef's knife. I think it's just like a chopping knife, but I'm not sure if it is considered the type of knife that you're talking about. The little man is still convinced that I'm gonna give him some of this stuff. Rusty, you should go lay down. Whoop. Oh, I can't say that, otherwise he's gonna get excited. He thinks that that means come clean something off of the floor. Okay, so I got my sun-dried tomatoes, and now I'm gonna add all of the spices. So we have cumin, half a teaspoon of cumin. Quarter teaspoon of thyme. Let's see, half a teaspoon of oregano. It does actually call for Mexican oregano, but I didn't get any. I'm just using regular. And part of the reason for that is because I've been growing it, and I'm gonna have a ton of it, so I don't really feel like I want to add more to the collection. It's not going to taste exactly the same, but it's going to be pretty similar. About a quarter teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. Ooh, smells very spicy. A quarter teaspoon of cinnamon. Well, you missed, Red Dawn, you missed the part of the stream at the beginning where I apologized for kind of being MIA recently. And the reason for that is because I have a lot of other things that I like to do aside from cooking. And one of the things that I was streaming was meal prep, and that was in an attempt to make myself cook more, and it wasn't working out. So, part of what I'm going to be doing now is whenever I'm streaming something, it'll be for fun. So that I get to make something interesting, but the pressure to make a lot of food all at one time in order to feed us, blah, 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 will be less of a priority. Because you can still get a lot of really healthy, good for you foods without having to cook. Okay, so a half a teaspoon of paprika. And remember, guys, if this ends up looking like something you might want to make, you can get the recipe from the book, and exclamation point in book will bring up the link to that on Amazon. I believe if you have Prime, you can read it for free. It's part of Kindle Unlimited. So it's asking for 1/8 of a teaspoon of cloves, and I don't have 1/8 of a teaspoon measure, so I'm eyeballing it. And I don't have any chipotle powder, so we're just going to be a little generous with the chili powder. Okay, let's see. Okay. So right now this is what it looks like. It's just kind of like a bunch of spices coating the onions and garlic and tomatoes. And what we're gonna do now is add the chickpeas and the liquid ingredients. And we're gonna mash it all together. So we're doing a tablespoon of this. The original recipe calls for tamari, but I prefer the Bragg's liquid aminos for some reason. I don't know. I just do. It's saltier, I guess, without having as much sodium, which is weird. And then 2 teaspoons of apple cider vinegar. And it's wicked stuck. Red Dawn uses a lot of tamari. Tamari is good. I don't know why. I just prefer the liquid aminos. Okay, so that is pretty much it. So we're just gonna stir it, and then we're gonna mash it, and then as we're doing that, it's gonna continue to cook, and some of the liquid will evaporate, but it'll become this really, really cool, deliciously seasoned meaty mash. So this will be fun. So here's the before, and then I'll show you what it looks like when it's all squished up. Look out, baby! I forgot a fork as usual. Look out, honey. Now, if I had remembered this, I would have used a non-stick pan. Because you're really not supposed to use metal on enameled or coated surfaces. It'll scratch it up. So Red Dawn, you said you use a lot of tamari. What do you use it with? Do you use it mainly in Asian cooking? I think that's primarily what a lot of people use it for. But vegans use it a lot for like umami flavor. And you'll see it added to a lot of different things. Miso as well. So you wouldn't think that you would use miso to make like fake meat, but they do. Same thing with tamari. One of the recipes that I'll be making out of this book later on in the month is Mexican seitan. And seitan is like, it's like meat, but it's made out of wheat gluten. And then I'm going to be using that to make a taco recipe. The tacos al pastor, I think. And then I'm going to be making Baja tacos the very end of the month. It'll be like the last recipe, I think. Which will have breaded cauliflower instead of fish. Much of what I cook is Southeast Asian stir fries, that and South Asian curries. And Zeus is coming to my house that night. Which one interests you more, the tacos al pastor or the Baja tacos? Yeah, they're supposed to be like fish tacos. Hi! I'm sorry you don't get any. You're really cute though. You guys, I have a stool right in front of the laptop here, and I'm surprised there's not a cat sitting in it. I was setting a cat trap and it's not working. So we're trying to cook this for just like 5 more minutes so that it becomes a little bit firmer and more crumbly. Baja tacos. Yeah, I know, right? See, I've never had regular fish tacos, so I don't know how it's gonna be, but I'm very intrigued, so I thought I would try it. Red Dawn says, I'm an omnivore, but I really like meat substitutes. Tofu, TVP, Mianjin, corn, etc. I've had all of those except for Mianjin. I don't know what that is. Is that like a wheat meat? Do you like fermented foods? Have you are you a fan of kimchi, and have you ever had natto before? Okay, it is gluten. I figured. A lot of people do, and I guess that's good. It's good to eat a wide variety of things. Red Dawn loves kimchi. Honestly, I haven't really tried any fermented foods. I just drink the kombucha. I have a smell aversion, and honestly, it's pretty surprising that I can even stand the smell of kombucha, but I really like the flavor. I just can't try anything else. So I think this looks pretty good. I don't want to burn it. And I bet it tastes really good. We'll just put this off to the side for a minute. I actually have to preheat the oven, so I'm going to start that now. Work on making our sandwiches. You like the taste of natto but really struggle with the texture. You get kimchi handmade by a small local manufacturer. We have, I work at a store and we carry locally made companies, sauerkraut and kimchi and fermented beets, but I've just never had it before. Natto freaks me out. I don't think I would ever be able to try it because it looks like eating spider webs covered in beans. That is delicious. Okay, so recipe number 1 is done. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so the other one is going to be really easy to put together. So basically, it's just an open-faced sandwich. It's 1 page of recipe. And this is what the author says. Nothing gets the day going like feasting on protein-packed bean veggie chorizo and cheese mollete, which I'm probably saying horribly wrong, but I'm trying. An open-faced breakfast sandwich loaded with refried black beans, plant-based chorizo, and gooey vegan white cheese. Beans, chorizo, cheese, and bolillos are staples in Mexican households, making mollete a popular morning meal throughout Mexico. So, we don't have a Hispanic or Mexican market at all. So, his suggestion for substituting the bolillos is either French bread or hoagie rolls. And I found these at the store. And I thought they would be a pretty good size. So I'm going to use these. And basically, we're toasting them first, and then topping them, and then baking them again. So let me get some of this stuff out of the way. I don't think I need this anymore. Okay. So what I have to do is basically cut these open and slather them with butter. Okay, Rusty. Is there a good natural foods retailer near where you and MVP are? Yes, there are several. I actually work at one. And we carry a number of really cool things. We don't have everything, though. There's a Whole Foods within a very short drive. Oh, my bread knife is in the dishwasher. And the dishwasher is covered by the stream setup. So we're just going to have to use these. So the directions say to cut the bread open. He actually is not very descriptive as to like what direction you're doing this, but because I've seen these made on TV, I know what I'm doing. So it's an open-faced sandwich. So that's what you want to do. How am I going to fit all these on here? Maybe? You would love to work in a place like that? I do love my job, actually. I do a lot of ordering. I've been there for 2 years, and it's extremely fast-paced and unpredictable, but I like it a lot. I get a really great discount, and yeah. I have no plans of looking for another job. So I'm going to try to fit all these on there. We are so lucky here. Christchurch has 2 organic whole food collectives and an organic supermarket. That's cool. When MVP and I lived in Austin, we went to a co-op pretty regularly. Actually, I'm still a member of a co-op. I never sold my investment back out. So if we ever go back there, we can still go there and get the special pricing and discounts and stuff. Cable says, I find my city is pretty limiting, or that the organic alternatives are super expensive. It's more a treat yourself moment versus regular occurrence in my house, which I totally understand. And I'm often the same way. The thing is that the discount that I get makes pretty much everything that I would buy there the same price as if I bought it somewhere else. So that's definitely a plus for anybody who's interested in, like, only eating organic foods, for instance. That would save you a lot of money. Okay, so the directions are: spread 1 teaspoon of butter on the sliced side of each half. That's at least helpful and explanatory. So you bake them face up for 5 minutes. And then remove them from the oven. So I need a butter knife. This is the one thing that I forgot to check. This happens all the time. I always forget the utensils. The dedicated organic stores are cheaper. Well, that's refreshing. Our prices are considerably higher than most places, but I mean, for the organic produce, it's probably the same. When we were in Austin, there is an organic farm cooperative there that supplied the regular grocery stores with produce, and it was just as cheap, just about the same price as the regular stuff. They definitely have a very celebratory local food culture there. It's one of the things that I really liked about it, and one of the things that I miss the most. Even though you can find a lot of locally made products in New Hampshire, it's nowhere near the same amount as in Texas. And I feel like part of the reason is because there's a lot of regulations here, and there aren't as many there. For instance, cottage food operations, like basically where you can run a business that makes food out of your house. They're both legal in both states, but you're allowed to do more in Texas. And the health department is not allowed to regulate it. Whereas in New Hampshire, if you live in a city, the health department has to come out and inspect everything, and you basically have to have a commercial kitchen set up in your kitchen. Now, the state of Vermont actually has in-home food processor licenses that you can get, and the state of New Hampshire does not. So when we were moving back here, we talked about trying to find a place in Vermont so that I could have a culinary business. And it wasn't really like a serious conversation we were having, but I definitely probably would have been more inclined to start one if we had wound up there instead. And now I'm going to need butter. Alexa, add butter to the shopping list. Okay. So we're going to bake these for 5 minutes. Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes. I'm actually going to... You're going to call me crazy, but do you see the butter in here? I'm going to keep it anyway. Just in case. In case there's a butter emergency. I might need it. I know, and what's funny, Cables, is that she's completely in the other room. Like, you'd think it would be harder for her to hear what I'm saying. Her volume is turned way down, actually. It might be hard for me to hear the timer, but I'll have to keep an ear out for it. Okay. So, this recipe has another recipe that you can use to make the refried black beans. But I just bought a can because I'm lazy. Making refried beans is pretty fun, but it ends up, you have a ton of beans afterwards. And I don't have enough room to keep all of those beans in my house. Beans are ready. So I'm just working on garnishes. It says lime quarters and avocado slices. May you please see that bowl close up. This one, it's not an antique, if that's what you're looking at. It's a Paula Deen bowl. VP's mom got a set of them for us for a gift. And the inside looks like this. They are definitely seasoned. It's very spicy. So, sliced avocado. Oh my gosh, that is wicked spicy. You really like the pattern on it? Well, there you go. No, you cannot have an avocado. I love you, but no. No. What do you have hanging out of your mouth? I hope MVP is home when these are done so they can be nice and cheesy and delicious right out of the oven for her. Come on. So you can tell these avocados were in the refrigerator because they're very slimy on the inside. Which is not a common thing, but it's been sitting out for a little while, so it's like sweating internally. I never thought about, it had never occurred to me to keep ripened avocados in the refrigerator until my mom mentioned it. And I was like, you don't even eat avocados! Like, how do you know that? Dang it. But I want sliced avocados! Stop smushing! Hi, Asian. Did you fall asleep? So you guys, I'm sure this would be easier to do if I like got a spoon and scooped it out. But like I said, I never remembered to get the utensils. And the drawer is literally right behind my streaming setup. Did you come back with snacks, perhaps? Is that why you disappeared? Is so you could get snacks? Alexa, stop. Okay. She can't hear me. Alexa, stop. Okay. They're not really crispy yet. Well, I guess they are. Okay. They've only browned slightly, but they're very crispy, and I don't want to cook them for longer than that because they're gonna keep cooking when I put them back in. Grandma is cooking. I'm also at my grandparents' now. So, like, do you live within walking distance? Because that would be pretty cool. Do they make you really delicious food all the time? Bless you. Why are you sneezing? Bless you again. Can you hear him? Why are you sneezing? Huh? Okay, spread 2 tablespoons of refried beans evenly over each bread half. I'm not gonna measure, I'm just gonna eyeball it. Where's my little plunger things? So this is what it looks like coming out of the oven, in case you were curious. That's it. Oh, it smells really good. Just waft it over here. So I'm gonna say that this is about 2 tablespoons. We'll start with that, and then we'll spread it out. In retrospect, I might run out. How many boyus am I supposed to have? 4. Yeah, that's what I thought. I might have to steal some of that back. And in hindsight, these might get a little mushy all assembled. Oh well, guess we'll find out tomorrow when we go to eat some more. This bread smells really good. Well, poop. Well, his guess with the hoagie rolls, or his advice with the hoagie rolls, actually worked out pretty well, because this is like the perfect amount of beans to bread ratio. Eep. I don't know, if MVP and I try hard enough, we could probably eat all of this tonight. We'll see. Okay. You used to live right next door to them. Now they're like 12 miles. You live in Queens and they live in the Bronx? That's still pretty close though, right? Do you take public transit? So this is what it looks like with the beans on top. Now I need some of the garbanzo-rizo. And it has definitely dried out considerably more. So Red Dawn, you said that you're a fan of like vegetarian meats, but have you had non-dairy cheeses before? How do you feel about those? I'm sure that where you are, they have many more different brands than here in the States. A lot of people have been asking me to try to order this cheese from the UK called Violife, and it's just not available from our distributors. And I've seen some specialty shops be able to get it, but it's just not something that I've been able to find yet. Why are you barking? Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. You know, I'm not sure I've ever eaten anything that's made with beans and then topped with more other beans. I mean, obviously, 3-bean chili has multiple kinds of beans in it, but this is a little different. Oh, cheese, yes. No, I haven't tried any vegan cheeses, but I really like vegan yogurts made from coconut. I like to make coconut Greek yogurt, frozen yogurt with raspberries. That is my favoriteest thing on the planet. But I don't do it very much. Sprinkle with 1 to 2 tablespoons of cheese. And then bake again until the cheese has melted. Don't mind if I do. My fingers are so spicy. So we're actually supposed to go to the mall after we're done eating this food. MVP is trying to find some poutine stuff she actually wants to buy. Like, she's obsessed with poutine, but she feels really guilty because she doesn't need, like, stuffed animals and stuff. So she's trying to find things that she would actually have a use for. She's on a mission to find a lanyard. with poutine on it. Apparently Hot Topic makes them. Oh, and she also got me a surprise from Amazon for Prime Day, I guess. And I have to go pick it up tomorrow. I don't know what it is. Vegan ice creams made from coconut are also fantastic. I love vegan ice creams. I'm actually pretty picky about them, but I have had a number of really good ones. My favorites right now is like a, not really a seasonal, but it's like a special line from the brand called So Delicious. But they have like funky flavors. Alexa, set a timer for 5 minutes. Like Bananas Foster and Peachy Maple Pecan. And there was Key Lime Coconut. That was also really great. But I haven't tried the rest of them. So yeah, the vegan cheese that I'm using right now is Daiya cheese. It's widely available. It's allergen free. It looks like it's carrageenan free now too, which is good. Carrageenan is like the currently trendy evil ingredient that people blame for all of their problems. But it's good to see that they don't have it in here anymore. I don't know how reputable everybody's claims are about it being bad for you, but there are organic, non-homogenized whole milks here that are utterly fantastic. Yes, the raw milk industry locally here is actually pretty strong as well. That's one of the few things in New Hampshire that isn't heavily regulated. I'm sure there'll be another super evil chemical coming up soon enough. Yeah. It's always something. Okay, so for the garnishes, he recommends some pico and some lime juice and a sliced avocado. So that's what I'm going to do. And we're just going to slice these very thinly. And this Mitchell's Fresh Mild Salsa is the closest thing that I can come to finding pico that's already made. I've found it like made pico style at big grocery stores before, but it's not very good. It just tastes like onions. This fresh salsa is the closest thing that I've found to it actually not sucking. Here, anyway. More so a jab at all the people who think chemicals are evil when talking about cleaning products. Yeah. Funny story, though. Every summer, it seems like I forget that if I don't have fragrance-free and dye-free laundry detergent, that I get heat rash all over my body. So needless to say, that's been an issue recently because I took home some free laundry detergent because I'm dumb. But I've been washing everything again, and today I feel actually pretty good. But yeah. Some people have like actual aversions to, you know, synthetic chemicals, but a lot of people I feel like are just scared of everything. Especially when it comes to the carrageenan debate. But I'm not a molecular biologist or a gastroenterologist, so I can't really say for sure if it's good for you or not, or if it's bad for you or not. Because really, it being good for you is not being called into question. Quite the opposite. I got my chilies and adobo sauce out because I thought I was gonna need them for this, but apparently I did not. So what do you guys think of the recipe so far? Does it look like something you guys would eat? I think the conventional kind, like if you made it with real chorizo, that would really be the only difference. Cable gets that issue, but she's been okay-ish with those stupid Tide Pods. I don't really seem to have one laundry detergent in particular that's better for me. It just seems like if it's not free of everything, I get a really bad rash. Oop. Alexa, stop. Look out! I'm checking the cheese melty. The cheese is not terribly melty, so I'm gonna let it go for 5 more minutes. Alexa, timer, 5 minutes. So I bought another bag of sun-dried tomatoes because I thought I was like almost all out, but I actually have a lot. It looks kind of fun, but way too spicy for me. Definitely would work with less spices. So I could suggest maybe just swapping out the beans for regular refried beans, because really the spiciest thing on there was the refried beans. Red Dawn says it's a recipe I would try, but I would add some texture by adding TVP mince. That would probably help with the veggie chorizo, the garbanzo-rizo. It's definitely on the soft side. And when I made it before, I actually made it with chickpeas that I had cooked from scratch. So it was definitely more firm than these are going to be. Here, I'm going to text MVP and ask her where she's at. I told her I'd be ready by like 5 or 6. Hey, where are you? Smiles. She's probably on her way home. Well, why don't I grab this dog and we sit? Come here. While this finishes cooking. Oh, what's the matter? Oh, he's old and he's uncomfortable. You okay? You want to sit in my lap? Yes, you do? You're alright. He needs a haircut. What are you sniffing? Yeah, we have a doctor's appointment on Wednesday because we keep chewing our foot. And also one of our nipples is really swollen and I'm worried he has a breast cancer. I'm feeling it right now. It's like a bump, a big bump. It's like the size of a nickel under your boob. What's wrong with your boob? Yeah. Oh my god. I think it's just a cyst because it's not hard. I think tumors are really hard. It could also be a gland that's swollen. And I'm really surprised he's letting me touch it. Maybe it hurts because he's burping. It's really right next to his little man thing. Huh, baby? He's usually very sensitive about, I mean, who wouldn't be? Hi. You waiting for your other mommy to get home? Yeah, me too. He's so cute. It sounds sebaceous, not malignant. Yeah, I don't really know anything about like tumors and bumpies and stuff, so he's full of energy and it doesn't seem to bother him at all. But he kind of moves around. I want it checked out. Maybe they can drain it or something, I don't know. He's been getting warts, and I want those checked out too. Like, I'm worried he's got some sort of skin condition. Yeah, he's just falling apart. He's an old man. He's 9 years old now. He's my baby. He's my baby. Like cysts, skin infections, etc. Well, I hope so. I hope he has a tooth cleaning scheduled for September. So they might, if they feel like it's not a huge problem, I'm thinking they might wait until then while he's unconscious and just do it all at the same time. We'll see. That will probably lance the area and apply topical antibiotic. We'll see. If that's the case, he's gonna have a real bad afternoon. He's been really helpful outside, you guys. Ooh. Alexa, stop. Well, this is pretty melty. I think this will be good. Melty and delicious. So she's not texting me back, which means she's probably on her way home. Is he a good gardener yet? So he knows what raspberries are. He's been trying to eat them off of the bushes. He likes to chase away all of the rodents, which is good. And he found something wonderfully disgusting and atrocious to roll around in while we were outside today. I tried to mist him with the hose, and he didn't like that at all. But I tried. He's hideout. I think I might actually have to water my plants twice today. I put the drip hose on because they seem to be really, really wilty all the time now. So I dripped them for about 20 minutes today, and we'll see what they look like when we get back from the mall. I might have to do them a little bit longer. They look really good, Clem. Thank you, Red Dawn. I'm gonna plate one up, make it look all pretty for ya, and then I'm gonna eat it. And again, I don't have a spoon. Actually, we'll do that after the avocados. I'm so excited. When I came home with this Pico MVP saw it in there, and she's like, "Ooh, chips and salsa," and I was like, "No, you can't have it until after Monday." So I guarantee you, she's gonna be having chips and salsa for lunch tomorrow. And yes, I'm squeezing some lime juice on top. Mexican food is always best or improved by limes on top. I'm plating it for you guys so you can see it. How does that look? And this is the part of the stream where everything is jealous. Yes. Doesn't it look good? And now I'm gonna eat it. And the dog is gonna stand here and be so jealous. Oh, it's so spicy. MVP is gonna flip. Whew! Oh, and now I have the hiccups. Oh my god. I'm gonna take a break. If I have the hiccups, you guys, I'm gonna have to kill the stream like right now. Red Dot says, "Oh, I gotta go shopping, but thanks so much for the stream, Clem." Thank you for coming, Red Dot. I have never shared this with you guys before, but the hiccups for me are extremely painful. And I don't know why, but I think they might have passed. Okay, well, on that note, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna eat my food. I'm gonna wait for MVP to come home, and she's gonna have some, and she's gonna say, "Oh my god, it's amazing," because it is. It's really spicy, and the bread on the bottom has stayed nice and crisp. The beans on top are nice and moist, extremely spicy, extremely delicious. I haven't gotten to the bit with avocado on it yet, but it's gonna be great. There's the dog. But thank you guys so much for coming. Come back on Thursday at 4 o'clock. I'm going to be making amaranth granola. And it's supposed to have Mexican chocolate in it. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find it, but I'm going to try. Moist. Yes. I don't have an aversion to that word like other streamers do, apparently. But yeah, come check it out. I'm going to be popping amaranth. I don't know if you've ever seen that done before, but it's like popping corn, except on a much smaller scale. You just do it in a pot. Basically, you make it warm. You make the pot warm, you pour the amaranth in, and it goes whoosh, 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 and then you have to dump it like really fast, otherwise it burns. It's really cool, and you should come at 4 o'clock on Thursday and check it out. And I'm going to go. And thank you again so much for coming, and I will catch you all later.